Hello, pre-Kers, and welcome to another online story time. I'm Miss Stephanie, the children's librarian at the Page Public Library, and today I'm going to read books about pumpkins. And pumpkins are growing, and we can use this time of year to make all sorts of yummy things like pie, and we can also carve them into jack-o'-lanterns. So let's read a few books about pumpkins. The first one is called Pumpkin Circle, and this is by George Levinson. The pumpkin seed makes the pumpkin plant, and the pumpkin plant makes pumpkins. Deep within each pumpkin, the air is damp and cool. The walls are lined with teardrop seeds, each one a slippery jewel. Scrape them from their orange cave, wash away squishy mush. Save a few to grow next spring and have a bunch to munch. When the earth is soft and warm, plant these sleeping seeds. In about 1 week, out they peek, 2 fresh, young, fat, green leaves. This garden will be home to many pumpkin cousins, 1 big pumpkin family, 5 varieties, each one starting from different pumpkin seeds. See how the different sizes and colors? Every passing minute awakes each new plant, reaching down with silky roots, reaching up to dance. Week by week, the backyard patch spreads before your eyes, filling every inch of space with leaves and roots and vines. Huge green leaves grow toward the sky, prickly, lush, and wide. They soak up sun and water and make a shady place to hide. Twisty tentacles grasp like hands stretching up to cling. They roll down into fancy curls and wind up just like springs. Then silently as angels, flower buds appear with pointy little collars and gleaming silver hair. Velvet petals open, brilliant sunlit bells, delicately fragrant, a sign of pumpkin gold. Along comes the bees, floating through the air, buzzing, gathering, guzzling, zooming everywhere. Butterflies and spiders, grasshoppers and snails explore the pumpkin garden as they travel private trails. 100 days of weather, 100 days of care. Pumpkins climbing up the fence, pumpkins everywhere. Help those pumpkins sit up straight as they grow round and proud. Scratch out pumpkin names so they stand out in a crowd. Or just sit back and enjoy the view. Pumpkins grow because pumpkins know exactly what to do. When summer turns to fall, green turns to gold. Shorter days bring chilly nights and pumpkin vines grow old. Now comes the harvest, pluck treasures from the vine. Clear away lifeless leaves, hide the rags of time. Gather up the finished fruit, ripe and fully grown. Tidy up the garden, make a cozy pumpkin home. Salute the pumpkin circle, make way for pumpkin cheer. Behold the pumpkin miracle, we're pumpkin millionaires. Make up pumpkin faces, add bright candlelight. Set them on your doorstep and let them flicker through the night. Each day pumpkins change, getting older, getting stranger. Sinking, shrinking pumpkins, back to earth you go, turning into muck and dirt, a place for seeds to grow. How did this all begin? What is this pumpkin thing? Is there a Mother Nature? Is there a pumpkin king? We can be sure of this. It's a pumpkin, it's a circle without end. It's pumpkin seeds to pumpkin seeds again. The end. All right, let's read another book about pumpkins. This one is called Pumpkin Soup. And this is by Helen Cooper. Deep in the woods, there was an old white cabin with pumpkins in the garden. There's a good smell of soup, and at night, with luck, you might see a bagpiping cat through the window, and a squirrel with a banjo, and a small singing duck. Pumpkin soup, the best you ever tasted, made by the cat who slices up the pumpkin, made by the squirrel who stirs in the water, made by the duck who scoops up a pipkin of salt and tips in just enough. They slurp their soup, then play their song, and pop to bed in a quilt stitched together by the cat, embroidered by the squirrel, and filled with fine feathers from the duck. And it's peaceful in the old white cabin. Everyone has their own job to do. Everyone is happy, or so it seems. But one morning the duck woke up early. He tiptoed in the kitchen and smiled at Squirrel's special spoon. Wouldn't it be fine, he murmured, if I could be head cook? He drew up a stool and hopped on top and reached into his beak, just touched the tip of the soup. Ker-plink, down it clattered. Then Duck trotted back to the bedroom, held up the spoon, and said, "Today it is my turn to stir the soup." "That's mine," squeaked the squirrel. "Stirring is my job. Give that back." "You're much too small," snapped the cat. "We'll cook the way we always had." But Duck held on tight, and Squirrel tugged with all his might, and whoops! The spoon spun through the air and bopped the cat on the head. And then there was trouble, a horrible squabble, a row, a racket, a rumble in the old white cabin. "I'm not staying here," wailed the duck. "You never let me help with anything." And he packed up a wheelbarrow, put on his hat, and waddled away. "You'll be back," stormed the cat, "after we've cleaned up." And Squirrel shook his spoon in the air. But the duck didn't come back. Not for breakfast, not even for lunch. "I'll find him," scoffed the cat. "He'd be hiding outside. I bet he's in the pumpkin patch." But the duck was not in the pumpkin patch. They could not find him anywhere. So they waited all that long afternoon. "That duck will be sorry when he comes home," they muttered. But the duck didn't come home, not even at soup time. The soup wasn't tasty. They made it too salty. They didn't feel hungry anyway. They both sobbed over supper, and their tears dripped into the soup and made it even saltier. "We should have let him stir the soup," sniffed the squirrel. "He was only trying to help," with the cat. "Let's go out and look for him." On they trudged until they reached the edge of a steep, steep cliff. "Maybe he fell down there," wailed the cat. "I'll save him," squeaked the squirrel, and he scrambled down the long, shaky rope. He searched all around on the ground, but he couldn't find the duck. Then the cat whispered in a sad little voice, "Duck might have found some better friends." "He might," sighed the squirrel, "friends who'd let him help." And the more they thought about it as they plodded back, the more they were sure they were right. But when they were almost home, they saw light shining from the old white cabin. "It's Duck!" they shrieked as they burst through the door, and the duck was so happy to see him. He was also very hungry and thought it was late, so they thought they would all make pumpkin soup. When the duck stirred, the cat and the squirrel didn't say anything, not even when the duck stirred the soup so fast that it slopped right out of the pot, not even when the pot got burned. And then Duck showed Squirrel how to measure out the salt, and the soup was still the best you'd ever seen. And once again it was peaceful in the old white cabin until Duck said, "I think I'll play the bagpipes now." The end. All right, I've got one more story for you, and this is a very fun book. It's actually one of my favorites to read in the fall. It's called The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. We got a nice big jack-o'-lantern up here. Oh, and this book is written by Linda Williams. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk to collect herbs and spices. She walked so long and so far it started to get dark. There was only a slither of moon shining, so the little old lady started to walk home. Suddenly she stopped. Right in the middle of the path were two big shoes, and the shoes went clomp, clomp. Can you go clomp, clomp with your shoes? "Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and on she walked down the path. But behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. And a little farther on, the little old lady stumbled upon a pair of pants, and the pants went wiggle, wiggle. "Can you wiggle, wiggle?" "Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and she walked on. But behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, and one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. And then further still, a little lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake. "Get out of me, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you." And on she walked a bit faster, but behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, and one shirt go shake, shake. And then a little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the head went nod, nod. The hat went nod, nod. Can you guys do that? "Get out of my way, you two white gloves and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you," she said. On she walked, but behind her she could hear two shoes went clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, two gloves go clap, clap, and one hat go nod, nod. But by now the little lady was walking at quite a fast pace, and she was very near her cottage, and she was startled by a very huge, very orange, and very scary pumpkin head. And the head went boo! And this time, the little old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran. But behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. 1 shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. 1 hat go nod, nod. And 1 very scary head go boo. And she did not look back. She ran as fast as she could. And she sat in her chair by the fire. And she rocked after she locked the door. It was so quiet in the cottage before the knock, knock on the door. Should she answer it? Do you guys think she should answer it? Well, she was not afraid of anything. So she went to the door and opened it, and what do you think she saw? 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. 1 shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. 1 hat go nod, nod. And 1 very scary pumpkin head go boo. I'm not afraid of you, the little old lady said bravely. What do you want anyway? We've come to scare you. You can't scare me, said the little old lady. Then what's to become of us? The pumpkin head suddenly looked unhappy. I have an idea, said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The pumpkin head nodded, and his face seemed to brighten. The little old lady said goodnight, closed the door, and whistled on her way to bed. And the next morning, she woke up early. She went up to her window and looked out into her garden, and what did she see? 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. 1 shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. 1 hat go nod, nod. And 1 very scary pumpkin head go boo. And it scared all the crows away. The end. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this special pumpkin story time. I look forward to sharing more books with you soon. Have a good day. Bye.